Hi, Doug Stworski for the U.S. Access Institute, LLC. Today we look at one specific element in our lesson series called Accessibility by the Element. That's where we take a quick look at the accessibility requirements and one specific element. We also do a comparison of the different ADA and state access codes and standards. We try to cover it from coast to coast. Remember, our goal is eliminating the confusion and access compliance. So check us out at www.usaccessinstitute.com. And here we go. First, we start with the periodic table of accessible elements. It's not a real table in the access standard sense of things, but hey, we want to make access fun. Next, we look at section 606, and that covers lavatories and sinks. Then we'll drill down to section 606.5 that reads, water supply and drain pipes under lavatories and sinks shall be insulated or otherwise configured to protect against contact. There shall be no sharp or abrasive surfaces. This figure comes from the Fair Housing Act Design Manual, and it illustrates the pipe protection, but it differs from 605.5 in the ADA in that it addresses the hot water lines only. The requirement is very consistent across the U.S. It is in the 2010 ADAS for accessible design. It's in the Chapter 11 of the 2020 Building Code of New York State. It's in the ICC A117.1, 2017. It's in the Chapter 11B of the 2022 California Building Code, in the 2020 Florida Building Code accessibility provisions, and it's in the 2012 Texas Accessibility Standards. And as we noted earlier, it is in the Fair Housing Act Design Manual. So it's easy to see that the requirement is indeed consistent across the USA. Let's see if there isn't some confusion out there. Here I see the drain line protected, but not the water piping. Here, no attempt has even been made. At first glance, this setup is looking to be in compliance. But when we get down and look under the lavatory, we see the hot water line protected on the left and the cold is not. But it looks as if there is a sharp edge at the cold side. Sharp edges are identified in the standards we have mentioned, and most of the standards require all water piping to be protected. The Fair Housing Act Design Manual speaks about protecting the hot water lines only, but the verbiage doesn't continue in the other standards. Here is an accessible stall that is not in compliance. And at first glance, I can see the drain lines are protected. It's difficult to see in the photograph, but more work is required to be in compliance. And remember that many of the standards require all water piping to be protected. I suspect some maintenance has occurred here, and that is why we are missing some of that protection. And here it seems no attempt was made to comply at all. Here's a page from the Fair Housing Act Design Manual that shows 3 ways to bring the exposed pipes into compliance. We have seen that the requirement to provide protection is consistent across the USA, yet conformance seems to be inadequate at times. Do you think there is some confusion over the accessibility requirements? Remember, here at the U.S. Access Institute, LLC, our goal is eliminating that confusion and access compliance.